Anti-American NFL players just issued Trump a nasty ultimatum before standing at Sunday game. And yet another ignorant ball tosser stuck his foot in his mouth. The highly overrated Titans wide receiver, Rishard Matthews, while responding to a question asked on Twitter by a local TV producer earlier this week, said he would step away from football if the NFL implements a new rule requiring players to stand for the national anthem. But, of course, as soon as he tweeted his response, Matthews, who again stayed in the tunnel for the singing of the anthem during Sunday's game against Miami, deleted his tweet. WSMV Channel 4 posted a screen grab of the tweet, which was a response to a question from Matt Parker, who is one of their producers there. Now, here is what's really strange about this whole story with Matthew, is that he actually had a brother killed fighting in Afghanistan and a father who served 23 years in the U.S. military. He did initially speak out against the protests when Colin Kaepernick first decided to kneel last season, but the ball tosser has since changed his mind and now fully supports kneeling during our national anthem. Why the change of heart, Matthews? Who convinced you otherwise? Or who paid you to change your mind? George Soros. Red State reports NFL in bed with... I just knew it. I did not look at this article prior. There you have it. NFL in bed with Soros, turns out taking a knee to protest police brutality and later to protest remarks made by Donald Trump. This is all due. It's not about police brutality. It's about Donald Trump now. Was mostly political after all. It's being reported today that the National Football League Players Association, NFLPA, the union that represents NFL players, and who came out in support of Colin Kaepernick's attempt at social justice activism, has some significant associations with progressive activist and billionaire George Soros, which is to say they are aligned with groups that take his money to try to implement the leftist utopia he seeks from the Washington Times. Tax documents released by conservative watchdog groups Second Vote show the NFLPA donated $5,000. This is chump change. You can bet your bottom dollar that you know how much money has been thrown by George Soros into this? Without a trace showing publicly what's going on? Donated $5,000 in 2015 to the Center for Community Change Action, a group active in the anti-Trump resistance and bankrolled by a host of liberal foundations, including top Democratic donor George Soros' Foundation for Open Society. A member of the AFL-CIO, the NFLPA, also contributed in 2013 and 2015 to Working America, at the AFL-CIO's community affiliate, which Open Secrets said spent $1 million in 2016 to defeat Trump. Yeah, that went to Hillary. Working America has since mobilized against the Republican tax cut framework, denouncing it as the Trump tax scam. The NFLPA contributed $5,000 in 2014 to Jobs with Justice, another pro-union group backed by Soros, and $5,000 in 2013. This is a joke. To the progressive Los Angeles Alliance for a New Economy. The NFLPA donated donations from 2013, 2014, and 2015 were made before Mr. Trump was elected. To recap, the NFLPA likes to give money to groups that are also funded by George Soros, who you may remember as the guy who broke the British Bank, may have He helped the Nazis by confiscating property of Jewish teenagers in his home country of Budapest and is the primary funder of the leftist media in this country. Very interesting list of journalists affiliated with Soros at the link. But I guess for purposes, yeah, that's why they say may. NFLPA also likes to give money to groups that are actively involved in the, quote, resistance against Trump, which that's a resistance against pro-America. You get it? Which would explain why there was a backlash to his comments that Kaepernick should be fired for not respecting the flag. But as noted above, many of the donations to the leftist groups came years before Trump was elected. Yeah, because that was with Obama, the destruction of America. And that's what's taking place. It can't happen overnight. It happens slowly, gradually. They chip away at America's foundation every day through the years, and then it comes crumbling down. You know, it makes perfect sense. And meanwhile, nobody really notices as it's being chipped slowly away. It makes one feel a little sorry for Kaepernick, I don't, and the rest of the NFL players who we can assume might actually believe they are kneeling to make the world a more equitable place. No, they were paid off. They are instead being used as pawns in a political game between huge special interests and their union, who is supposed to look after them, is complicit in the charade. Maybe they figured it out, since there appears to be more standing going on every week, with the original 200 players taking a knee, dropping to about 50 last week. Don't be fooled by all the left-wing talking points from today's sportscasting wannabe social justice warriors. That's a very, very excellent statement there. All these ball tossers aren't known for their high IQs. Totally true. They are just bought and paid to think that the way they do. None of them have real convictions other than their love for money and fame. Totally right on point. In a way, who can blame them? Since they aren't really good for much else, so they have to milk the system for every last cent they can get. And since now we have a concrete link between the NFL and the evil globalist leftist George Soros, who suffers from a God complex, we can now confirm the suspicion many of us had about all these protests. These protests started as a way for Colin Kaepernick to remain in the spotlight once the San Francisco 49ers decided he wasn't good enough to be a starter anymore, but it later turned into a protest against our president, the very president most NFL fans support. The globalists have wanted to end American football for decades. They finally succeeded. No, the globalists did not want to end American football for decades. No, they did not. They wanted to end America, not the American football. They think that the people are stupid enough to go watch their games and they can turn it around by them standing. I would not watch that. First of all, Soros is a very shrewd character, and an end should be put to his shenanigans. I have no idea whatsoever how come he's not behind bars, which he should be, and the protests are against to chip away at America, because Obama started the chipping real good for the 8 years. And now somebody came to America to stand up for American values, and that was Trump. And that's what they want to take down, because Trump is a thorn in their side. That's what Trump is to them. But Trump is pro-America, and believe me, I'm not saying he's perfect, but you know how many people are against him? But the difference is the American people, most of the American people are for him. And we're not going to be silenced. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.